Alright, let's see if we can finish this ending today. The Masha Miku ending. Epilogue. What is this, the epilogue? Oh, so it seems like maybe we will get to where I hypothesized. Though we got out of the dungeon, nothing is over. Crowds of zombie Ulyanas are wandering through the camp. An insane Lena is lying underneath, and heaven knows how much more devilry we will encounter here. I really want to sleep, says Masha. I didn't know how to answer her, because I don't know where to run. I don't know where we can be safe. I don't know how to return to our world. Sleep. I patted Misha's head. There. Listen, this would make a great script for a film. Oh, she's losing it, eh? She laughed out loud. I looked at her in horror. Shush, damn it, shush. What about the zombies? What if they're coming? Masha was smiling, but her smile wasn't diabolical like the one of Lena's. It was pure, honest, and maybe even childish. All her exhaustion had gone away, and her eyes were shining with a cheerful spark. What happened to you? I could hardly speak. Everything is fine. She lay down on my shoulders again. That was the last scene. Suddenly I felt my strength leaving me. My vision darkened. My consciousness began to float away somewhere. I was lying in silence, and only the sound of Masha's breath could be heard. Not the grasshoppers chirping, like all of them had died at last, but only Masha's steady breathing and her smile. ... Oh, flipping my table. That's bullshit. Did this all be a dream? Are we back to the movie? Did they just fall asleep on the beach after getting back together? That is bullshit. Bright moonlight reflected on the water, cheerfully skipping on the waves. A light night breeze was blowing, and somewhere far away an owl was hooting. I looked at Masha, who peacefully slept nearby, covered by my shirt. What a dream. My mobile phone dimly showed the time, 3 a.m. We'd better go to bed, or tomorrow Olga will make us. I just decided to wake Masha up, but I suddenly noticed an opened script and pen next to her. Inception, says Colgate in on tap. Nah, it's bullshit, man. It's just bullshit. But I suddenly noticed an open script and pen next to her, so what did she change? I quickly went through several pages and was horrified. It was completely... Oh, so, yeah, alright. So, okay, Inception. She incepted that into him. Like, he was half asleep and she was, like, telling him that script, and he slept through it like a dream. Bile rose in my throat and my eyes darkened. Masha rolled over, opened her eyes and looked at me. You awake? Did you write this? I asked, thick-tongued. Yes, what's wrong? I didn't know how to answer. I couldn't understand what was going on. You were sleeping so cutely that I didn't want to wake you, and the grasshoppers were chirping so loudly, so I... She smiled. Wait, But we are here now. I mean, we're not pioneers. We're filming here and all that kind of stuff, aren't we? Yes, of course we are. Masha looked at me uncomprehensingly. Maybe I woke up, read what she wrote, and then fell asleep again. You're drenched with sweat, says Masha. She fumbled in the pockets of the pioneer uniform lying next to her and gave me my handkerchief, a typical Russian handkerchief, embroidered with colorful flowers. I took it and suddenly felt a surge of warmth, the same warmth you feel when someone dear to you gives you a present. Shall we go? Masha started getting dressed. Yes, let's go. I barely stood up and went down to the river. Cold water revived me, and that dream stopped seeming so real. After all, it was just a dream, wasn't it? On our way back, Masha held my hand and chattered about everything non-stop. We came to the square. I hope those creatures will let me sleep, at least tonight, she said thoughtfully. Who? The grasshoppers. Ah, yes, that'd be great, I said. Well, I'll go. She looked at me keenly, turned around and was about to leave. Wait. I grabbed her hand, pulled her towards me, and kissed her hard. Colgate in on tap says, Semyon falls asleep at the bus, gets to Pioneer Camp, falls unconscious there, and wakes up not as himself, screenwriting and acting a pioneer world. Then as not Semyon, he falls asleep and sees nightmare based on a script written in the filming universe, and within that nightmare sees a nightmare about grasshoppers. Yeah, I guess it's fine. It's just a story, like, that's the worst type of ending to any story. And then they woke up, it was all just a dream. Right? I dislike that type of ending to stories. It's like there were no real stakes. I feel robbed. I mean, again, it's also, but we can say it's mirrored the Semyon stories. It's like he learned something. He learned that he needs to grow up for, like, if he wants to keep her or whatever. Because sometimes a dream is just a dream and reality is reality. Every story has its beginning and its end. Every story has its own outline, synopsis, and God. Oh, right, no. That was not. I wanted to just... Damn it. Didn't want to quit the game. That was a misclick. Just... I didn't... I don't know what to feel about this. That ending pissed me off. I mean, I guess... I don't know. Cheap. And I feel robbed. So, but people have claimed that it will all make sense at this last ending. So, let's finish the last ending. Come with me? Yes, I'll come with you. Keys. Nope, we'll leave the keys. Keep silent. Stay away from this crazy chick. Always crazy. Alright. All shall be explained. I mean, let's go with Slavi, I guess. Don't bet. This doesn't seem to matter. Wait, does nothing matter? Here we go. Alright, I need to go alone. Abaddon, like it doesn't matter. You just need to go alone. All this doesn't matter. Oh, let's lose against Alisa. This doesn't matter. Oh, wait. Haven't I done this? Yeah, I must have done this already. Water seemed to be blazing with flames, and I kept staring as it got weaker until it completely settled. Oh, watching the sunset, I mean. Ah, that was everything. Right, where are we at? Fine, wait a minute. Okay, I'll come. Here you go. Oh, it doesn't matter here. Let's go take a look, I suppose. Here we go. Accept the invitation. No. Right? It's no, and then go to the party. So no, I won't. Sorry. Oh, screw off. Not that I was really interested myself, she says. She clucked her disapproval and turned away. I was just wondering... Alright. Time to go. Wait, clean with Uliana? It doesn't matter, right? No, wait. Staying is story time. No, it doesn't matter. It says Colgate in on tap. So let's stay and clean up, I guess. Wait. What the fuck? Why? I screwed something up, I think. Right? I wasn't supposed. I needed to say no to Lena. Fuck. Okay. Where did I say yes to Lena? Didn't I say no? Maybe I didn't. Load game. Yes, I want to load here. And I want to say no. Go take a look. No, I won't. This didn't matter. Here we go. Slavia went back to the dance floor. I sat a little longer and then cautiously slipped away after making sure nobody noticed me. That was rough, said Banana Waffle Monkey. What was rough? I totally didn't want to see anyone after such a successful dancing. The most quiet place here is the bus station, which might never be visited by the 410 bus route again. But I let out a scream. There was a bus right in front of me. There we go. Banana Waffle Monkey says that in Path of Exile he got double boss on the last wave, which is the hardest outcome, and it was in an arena I couldn't kite around. Oof. On the other hand, my Empower corrupted into level 4, so ooh, stonks. Congratulations. That is very nice. There was a bus right in front of me, just like the one on the first day. I was petrified. How? What? How? Why? At once I remembered all my theories about getting to this camp. I was struck by the realization that during these last few days I had gotten so used to local life that I had started to forget that the things happening here were really not normal. I just stood there and watched the damned Icarus. Then I slapped my hands on my cheeks to make sure it was not an illusion. The bus was still there. If it's here, then it's time to go home. Sayonara, pioneers! I rushed to the door. I came to my senses on the ground. My nose hurt like hell. I stood up and tried to understand what's going on. It seemed like I bumped into something. The bus was more than real to the touch. I tried to reach my hand through the door. But there was some kind of an invisible wall. Oh? It's the end of the game that it was a video game all along? Invisible walls, those only exist in video games, right? I was overwhelmed by a nearly animalistic fear. Fear of everything, the camp, its inhabitants, and this bus. How the hell did I even get here? What is this damned Icarus I can't enter? Why is this happening to me? Suddenly a strong, unbalanced wind blew. I turned around and I saw a little piece of paper under the wheel of the bus. Something was written on it. You're here for a reason. That's a weird paper if it's flickering like that. The bad handwriting seemed familiar. Certainly, I certainly have seen it somewhere. It dawned upon me. I took a small charcoal from the ground and scribbled the same sentence on the back side. Yeah, it was him who wrote it, right? The handwriting was identical. My head cleared. I have sent a message to myself from the future. That's it. Oh fuck, I don't remember that. When did he write that note? It's a message from Semyon's good ending. Alright. Alright. So he did get a message from the future. That's it. Or not. From the past. Damn, I don't understand anything. Time is a flat circle, is that what they're saying? In any case, that was my handwriting. It certainly was not hard to forge it, but I was sure that I had written that message myself. After turning that piece of paper over in my hands, I decided to try entering the bus one more time. The invisible wall was still there. I circled all around the Icarus, tapped at the wheels, peeked inside through the window. Everything looked absolutely normal, but in reality, it wasn't. Heavy stones just bounce off the glass without visible damage. No effect, not even a scratch. I sat down on the curb and sighed weakly. If you think about it, the piece of paper hinted at something. That piece of paper. And it seems that this situation won't do me any harm. Semyon, shouted Olga. Seems like the leader is looking for me. Interesting, what will she say about this bus now? Would she still insist that it won't be coming for a few days? I jumped up and ran towards the sounds of Olga's voice. So what do you say about that? I blurted out triumphantly and waved my hands toward the road, and the bus is gone. Say about what? You replied in surprise. I turned around. The bus had disappeared, as suddenly as it appeared. It's a glitch in the game, right? It's a bug. A cry of triumph died in my throat. It's all a simulation. Colgate In on Tap says, I hate it when I try to get into the bus and someone has done the good old invisible wall prank. Exactly. It's time to sleep already. Let's go, she said. But what? Said Olga. The bus. There was a bus just a moment ago. The bus couldn't be here, she said calmly. I stared at Olga's face. She was either skillfully lying or really didn't see anything. Then it is me who might be seeing things. It can't be true. I really saw that damned 410. Well, wait. Is he really thinking that right now, that it can't be true that he is seeing things? That is impossible? Quit lying, I said quietly. Semyon, I don't understand. Stop lying to me. There was a bus. It's you you're keeping me here. Why? I gritted my teeth, but I tried to speak with a calm voice. You're scaring me. It's time to go to bed. I won't get anything from her as usual. Seriously, though, I really wanted to sleep. I walked swiftly past the leader, deliberately not paying any attention to her. I couldn't fall asleep for quite some time, and only the crumpled piece of paper with the words "You're here for a reason" reminded me that the events of these 3 days were real. Day 4. Alright, so let's move on and let's eat that apple. Wait. Hellish crackling in my head woke me up. My skull felt like somebody was blowing on it from the inside. Oh, hello, Quiche Quiche. Nice to see you again. How are you doing? I rubbed my eyes and saw the ringing alarm clock on the bedside table, knocked it off and dozed off again. ... When I woke up, it was already 9:15. Looks like it's time to wake up. I can't miss breakfast. I got up, scratched myself, and suddenly remembered last evening. There was a piece of paper below, under the pillow. Put the power-ups in the basket and step away slowly, says Banana Waffle Monkey. Put what power-ups? In what basket? I'm confused. Quiche Quiche. Sorry, I don't speak English. I'm from Russia, says Quiche Quiche. I remember. You do speak some English, it seems. Right? There was a piece of paper under the pillow. You're here for a reason. I still don't get it. What does it mean? How did I manage to send a message to myself? Why don't I remember that? More questions than answers. Oh, the name of the emotes were Power Up. left and power up right. Put the power ups in the basket. Ah, power up. Oh man, I don't fit in the camera. Ooh. It's not like a mirror, it's like my left is that way on the camera. But for me, it's strange. Put the power-ups in the basket and step away slowly. Yeah, we don't want any poor pony burning and stuff like that. You've read the comic Looking for Group? I'm thinking about Richard or Dick. He's a warlock and he likes to burn stuff. Incinerate. More questions than answers. No answers at all, to be precise. Indeed. I left the cabin and looked over the camp. No, it doesn't look like an illusion. This memo made everything much more complicated. What can I trust? My stomach growled treacherously. Even Agent Mulder didn't conduct investigations hungry. Oh man, I haven't seen Archive X in ages. I don't remember that at all. There was an unexpected crowd near the canteen. We've seen this before. Of course, there's no other place. Wait, we've seen this before. They were all crowding on the porch. Came closer to understand what was going on. Ah, there we go. Alright, we'll look at the boathouse. Nothing there. What about the bus stop? No, let's not go with Masha. Mika looked at me with frustration. Just for a little bit. I was lost for words. Oh, I haven't done this before. She dragged me along with her. Oh. I didn't get to choose. Miku walked through. No, this here. I don't even know what her name is. The strange, the brown root. We just finished, Miku. We just finished. Where are we? Just asking. Doesn't matter. Food poisoning. Overdose. Colgate in a tab to write something in Russian to Kish. Let's not ask about a bundle. Sure, here you go, some activated carbon. And let's eat the apple. And I want to go alone. Right. Said Julia, I think, says Banana Waffle Monkey. Oh, do you know Russian as well, Banana Waffle Monkey? Well, a little bit, I suppose. And that's it, right? Now we're at... Julia. There we go. Don't spoil our beloved streamer, right, not really. Julia is the name of the cat girl. Alright. So now we're at the Julia ending, right? So I can full screen. My friend was like, here, learn the Ukrainian alphabet. And I was like, okay. Alright. What's it called? Cyrillic? Is that what the alphabet is called? I don't remember. I used it as a pictograph when I was in Moscow. Yeah, Cyrillic. Just a pictograph, you know, just looking at, So it's this picture that coincides with that picture and that picture. Okay, so we're going to that station. Cat girl, okay, says Quiche Quiche. I'm pretty sure I have been spoiled a little bit and that I won't like this ending either, but we'll see. Around the next turn, the flashlight beam illuminated a big shadow. I was trembling with fear, and I couldn't move even one step further. I was woken from my stupor only by the thought that it could be Shurik. Shurik! No answer. Around the corner, the shadow disappeared. I saw a blurry human shape. Someone was sitting on a stone, or maybe something. I stopped dead. What are you doing here? I heard a lovely voice. Catching mice? Man, I opened my mouth, but I couldn't say anything. Did you see any here? No, but I'm sure there are plenty of them. I shined a flashlight at her face. Dude, I'm looking right at the picture. That is not her face. It's not her face. Either something was wrong with her head or with her biological species. Because of her ears and tail, she doesn't really look like a human. Banana Waffle Monkey says, yeah, it is. You're just not looking at it right. If you say so. Has lips and everything, I suppose. And how many have you caught? Not a single one, she answered seriously. She didn't look hostile. Subconsciously, I felt that I shouldn't be afraid of her, but at the same time, I had absolutely no idea what to ask her, how to ask her who she is or what she's doing. She's catching mice, dude. That's what she told me. Colgate In on Tap says, something wrong. This is racism that we talked about, right? Something is wrong. Where did he say that something is wrong? I don't know. But yeah, like, this is a different race. Like, we talked about humans being different races. Like, in the real world, there are no human races. This would be considered a different human race. Like, this is not a Homo sapien, as far as we would understand. Is that what you're talking about, Colgate In on Tap? But on the other hand, normally if you suddenly met someone in a deserted mine, you'd have a heart attack from shock. And the girl in front of me was definitely not a pioneer from the camp. And you? Who are you? You're probably looking for him, says the strange girl. Yeah, he'd said something like that. Something wrong with her biological species, yeah. But I mean, yeah. Banana Waffle Monkey says, streamer and chat use cat girls to solve racism. Yeah, it's solved now. We have it all figured out. For who? I asked. That boy. Well, yes, I answered after a small pause, but still, the girl interrupted me. He's been walking around here for a long time. I tried talking to him, but he didn't hear me. And where is he now? I don't know. Maybe he's still wandering around somewhere. It seems he wasn't interested in this conversation at all. And you, how did you get here? The same way you did, from the surface. Without a flashlight? Why not? He gave me a perplexed look. I completely lost all comprehension. Oh, finally, the flashlight flickered. Terrified, I started banging it with my fist. When the light lit back up, the girl wasn't there. I don't know who or what she is, but it seemed like she could help me find the answers. It's the strangest thing, but I wasn't scared of her. I just felt that this girl wouldn't do me any harm. Now I must find Shurik. He's thinking with his other brain. Does the streamer have a YouTube channel? Yes, indeed I do. It's... I think it's the same. Give me a second. Mm. Oops. Here we go. I can link it. That was from yesterday, I think. Yeah, we started at what's it called? Miku's end? Masha's end. That's almost the end of it. We finished Masha's end today. We were like 5 minutes off. Damn it. I quit like when there were 5 minutes off the ending, but I mean, that's fine. It's fine, it happens. But now I must find Shurik. I have a feeling that this is not the last time I will meet this girl. I don't know why, but I'm sure about it. Alright, around last... Oh, we can just... skip that. That's interesting. Then the girl from the mine appeared just before my eyes. I saw her so clear, it was as she was really in front of my bed. No, I'm just seeing things. But still, why didn't I get scared back then? I just went and spoke to her normally, just like that. All the answers are here. The cat-eared girl knows something for sure. Maybe I was too exhausted because of the old camp, mine, and labyrinth, and my nerves were stretched to breaking. I should have asked her about something. Yeah, I should have, dude. But I still have time. Do you? Do you now? Do you still have time? Day ... Here we go. It's interesting how seemingly simple events can affect a person. For example, there is such a widespread occurrences of OCD among children, obsessive compulsive disorder, where when you walk on the road, you have to step on the tiles precisely, avoiding the cracks. That's not OCD, dude. That is, I mean, that is really diminishing people who suffer from OCD, what it's really like. Does he mean ADHD, asks Banana Waffle Monkey. Nope. ADHD is growing in diagnoses. Yeah. I mean, I think most psychological issues are growing. I mean, we are diagnosing more and more. Maybe some people, maybe the lines are getting a little bit blurred. Bad characterization either way, yeah. I mean, there are people have issues, right? There are stuff that ends up in the DSM and that we do diagnose, right? And that is very good for helping them and like pointing out like someone who has proper OCD has a rough time of it, right? OCD is not very fun for people who have it. And just walking on the tiles is not OCD. It's that type of thing that if you do it a little bit compulsively, if you've ever done that, you can more easily empathize or sympathize with, I think I mean sympathize, I always forget it too, with someone who actually has OCD, but saying that your experiences are the same is really diminishing, like the suffering of people who actually have OCD. Can't even imagine, right? I can't even imagine like how rough it's gotta be. It seems like nothing special, but if one doesn't get rid of it in time, just forgetting or forcing oneself to step over the tiles, it could become a really big problem in the future. Banana Waffle Monkey says, my sister has bipolar, forgot whether 1 or 2. Are there different bipolars? I didn't know that. Schizoaffective and OCD, it is a nightmare. Yeah, it's like comparing just someone stepping on certain tiles. That's just a game, right? You play a game. Like, those things are rough, and I've been thinking about that attitude as someone pointed it out. Like, there are many such, I mean, some of them there are stuff people have that are part of them that becomes an issue for them. And when somebody says, oh, well, everybody has a little bit of OCD at times, that really diminishes what is really going on. It's the same with autism, it's the same with ADHD, it's the same with schizo and bipolar, I guess. Like, everybody has ups and downs, right? That doesn't mean that everybody is bipolar. Yeah. It's the same, like with depression as well. Well, depression has become so common now that it's used in 2 different ways. Like, I'm feeling a little bit depressed right now. It's not the same as clinical depression and shouldn't really be compared, but we're using the same words for the 2 of them, which is, I find that problematic. I like my language to make sense and not, I mean, yeah. Some people have a rough time of it. It's stupid because there's already a billion different words to use. Yeah. I'm considering maybe, I mean, depressed, it's like your emotions are pressing you down, something like that. And I can see why it would be common for just talking about feeling down or sad or a bit of anxiety, right? Well, anxiety disorder is something different, but I can see why people would use it. Maybe change the name of the clinical depression instead. I don't know. Could become a really big problem in the future. I mean, I guess if we're gonna do a charitable read and an interpretation of what the author is talking about, then we might agree that some type, like if you build behavioral patterns over time as a child, those behavioral patterns can become a big issue for a person like an adult. I do agree with that. Like, a lot of behavioral patterns get stuck, right? We learn a lot of things as children, and those patterns stay around, and then if you want to get rid of those patterns of behavior or thinking for that matter, it takes a lot of work to get rid of them. But that is not OCD, it's just patterns that you want to get rid of, and I do. For instance, one will only stare down and will get hit by a car. This won't happen, I don't think. Like, a person that won't, I mean, you won't develop OCD that makes you, if you just want to stand on, like, let's say that you build in that pattern and just every time just step on certain tiles or not step on the cracks or whatever. Not OCD, just that pattern of behavior, and you continue with doing that as an adult, right? That is not OCD, that's just a pattern of behavior. And I mean, if you're not paying attention, like if you have an attention problem, you might not notice a car and get hit, but that is not OCD, then that's an attention problem. Like, you can, if you have that pattern, you could still, like, every time you walk over, you could still have another pattern that you can train in as a child. Look left, look right. That's another pattern that you train into a child. That pattern is not OCD. If you look both sides at the road before passing, that's not OCD. That's a trained pattern of behavior, and it's the exact same thing. This pattern that he's talking about wouldn't cause you getting hit by a car. It's about not seeing the car that is the issue. I never had anything like OCD, I can tell. But minor events in my life often led to major troubles. Really, what's wrong with meeting a strange girl with cat's ears in a pioneer camp on the edge of time and space, or possibly even between the worlds? Doesn't seem like a big deal, although perhaps I just got used to thinking that nothing really existed for me before this week. There was only this camp and this life. He's lying. Semyon is lying again. He's lying to us because he is nagging on and on about it, like in all the endings, that, oh, this is not real. That's why something like a cat girl was just par for the course in this wonderland. She's just another character in this play, breaking the fourth wall, neither better nor worse than any other. But somewhere deep in my soul, I knew that wasn't so. All the camp inhabitants seemed normal, sometimes even too normal, with absolutely nothing remarkable about them. I mean, like, most people seem normal in a normal distribution curve, in the bell curve. Most people would be considered normal. But that doesn't mean they are not remarkable, however. Jeez. You could even say that my life here was simply boring. And now my head was about to burst with thoughts, so I opened my eyes and jumped out of bed. Camp leader's cabin was the same as usual. Outside the window, a bird monotonously, chirped, I'm guessing, trying to burst caterpillars in my eyes with her singing. The clock showed 11 a.m. Why didn't Olga wake me up? Wait. Have we seen this? Though who cares? I slept enough at least. However, I didn't feel like I'd fully recovered. The whole world was seemingly laughing at me. The bright sun outside, the lightly blowing breeze, gently whispering to the crowns of the trees, and this nasty bird had brought some fellows with her, obviously trying to ruin my mental stability. The water from the washstands was ice cold as usual. While washing my face, I realized that I forgot my toothbrush, tooth powder, and towel in the cabin. I recognized this. Strange, I didn't forget it in my head. I couldn't imagine a worse start to the day. At that moment, I thought it was the worst day all that I had spent in this camp. Although there weren't a lot of choices, a little more than 100 hours, not enough time to get a full image of a new home. Home. This word stuck my mind painfully. Do I have to stay here forever? But why? How? What for? Helplessly, I sat on the grass and buried my face in my hands. Suddenly remembered that girl. I wonder how many more fantastic characters I will meet here. A wonderful day, isn't it? Says the pioneer. Ooh. I couldn't even be bothered to raise my head. Is that the evil copy of Semyon that shows up again? Like from the Semyon endings? Yeah, couldn't be any better, I answered, keeping the same pose. Why so sarcastic? Sarcastic? I was surprised and looked up, but there was nobody nearby. Is it my imagination? No, I heard that for sure. Maybe I'm losing my mind. That underground mine, Shurik, voices the cat girl. More voices. Is there anything here that I can be sure about? I punched the washstands painfully hard and immediately jumped up, holding my hands and cursing. Damn it. Suddenly, somebody walked out of the bushes in front of me. Somebody or something. Hi, said the strange girl from yesterday. Hi? I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to expect from her. She's probably a hell beast and came here to end my life. That is, of course, only if it hasn't ended already. The cat girl stared at me. It hurts. She looked at my hand. Yes, I answered timidly. Then why? Why what? Why did you punch it? Because I was angry. I was completely unsure how I should talk to her. Perhaps one wrong word, phrase, or gesture could be fatal for me. Angry at who? The girl wasn't showing any signs of aggression. It just seemed that she was wondering what is happening. At myself. I see, she smiled faintly. Listen, I don't know how I should put it, but I must ask. I kept silent for a moment, gathering myself. Who are you? The girl looked at me blankly. I am me, of course, she said confidently. Nice. Good answer. No doubt about that, but how should I say it? You just don't meet a human with cat ears and tail every day, you know? The cat girl carefully examined the aforementioned parts of the body and asked, Why? I was totally confused. If in the first few minutes I thought it was necessary to be afraid, to be very careful, now she seemed more like a good spirit being, rather than a hostile monster. Because in my world, I was absolutely convinced that I shouldn't hide anything from her. In my world, this only happens in fairy tales. What's a fairy tale? Well, it's a story which cannot happen in reality. So I don't really exist, says the strange girl and laughed. I'm not even sure that I exist. But I can touch you, so you exist. Just thinking about the fact that she will touch me, I felt uncomfortable. Well, let's say I exist, yes. I stepped back. Goody goody. The girl smiled and waved her tail. There was an awkward silence. All the time I'd spent in this camp, I lived as if in a dream. Sometimes when you sleep, you realize that everything that happens in your brain is just a figment of your imagination, and you need just to wish. I'd thought so far for the last 5 days. This thought constantly existed somewhere deep in my soul. However, it seems that everything is happening in reality. At least I couldn't just wake up. I just want to understand. What? The girl was still smiling. How I got here and how to get out of here. Suddenly I heard voices by the roadside, so I turned around. Slavia and Senya were slowly approaching the watch stands. And you, but the girl had disappeared. Did you see it? I asked. Like I just needed someone to confirm the existence of this creature. Then I can convince myself that I'm not going crazy. What an irony. To go mad while in the land of Oz. Though just arriving here is already a ticket to the loony bin. And even if I wake up right now, I still wouldn't be sure that it was all just a dream. See what? The girls looked at me blankly. Anyone beside me? I could hardly speak. So an illusion, huh? So I'm actually... You should get your head examined, seriously, said Xenia, and snorted and passed by. Flavia smiled apologetically and hurried after her. So it is that simple. I wanted just one thing for now, for someone in this nightmare to believe that I'm still sane. Wait. This cat girl will believe you. That's for sure. This whole camp and its pioneer did not seem as real as yesterday. In the end, less than a week ago, I lived the completely normal life of an ordinary man of his time, and now maybe everything that happened made me think that it's all going the way it should. Should? That it's normal just to exist here. And now, the last leftovers of my common sense desperately clung to this cat-like girl with the ears, trying to prove to the locals that I'm not crazy. See, you don't exist. It's me in your tail. It's me in your tail, not you in mine. My head was about to explode. If not for the signal for dinner, perhaps I would have run to the library searching for medical books with lobotomy instructions. The canteen was crowded as usual. Banana Waffle Monkey says, Cat Girl disproves Descartes by touching things into existence. Well, that's the whole point of Descartes. You can't touch things into existence. That Descartes would not agree with you that touching something disproves his methodology. It was monads all along, says Colgate in on tap. Monads? I don't understand Colgate in on tap. Descartes never met a cat girl. Yeah, and Descartes would just like... I mean, Descartes was all about his methodology, right? That is why his name lives on. His methodology was to doubt everything. His conclusion, like cogito ergo sum, lives on, sure, that the only thing that he cannot doubt, and that is like, it's the point, right? Whatever you meet, you could still doubt. Like, for him, it would just be, his example was right, everything could just be a demon showing him dreams in front of his eyes. So him meeting a cat girl, he could doubt that as well as he can doubt meeting a normal person, right? That was the whole Descartes thing. Oh, I haven't read Leibniz. Colgate in on tab says that Leibniz says that everything is monads. So I gotta see this. So let's see. Leibniz, monads. Monadology. Here we go. Banana Waffle Monkey says, don't. Oh god, not the fucking monads. This is, I've missed this. I've missed this completely. I've never heard about monadology before. The Monadology is one of Gottfried Leibniz's best-known works of his later philosophy. I'm sorry, Banana Waffle Monkey, I've got to spend just a few minutes with this. It is a short text which presents in some 90 paragraphs a metaphysics of simple substances or monads. Simple substances. During his last stay in Vienna from the... Wait, what? From the 1712 to September 1714, when he wrote 2 short texts in French, which were meant as concise expositions of his philosophy. After his death, Principle de la Nature et de la... Oh man, I don't speak French anyway. Principle of Nature by the Grace of Reason. Maybe it's the translation, let's guess that. Which was intended for Prince Eugene of Savoy. Appeared in French in the Netherlands. I mean, yeah, that's what do they talk about? I don't care about the history. I want to know what's the point. So okay, the German translation appeared. Here we go. Context. Metaphysics. Here we go. Colgate in on tap says, Banana Waffle Monkey's monads. Aren't they gonads? Don't like others knowing about them. 7DI is in English? I don't understand, quiche. 7DI? Don't understand, I'm sorry. The monad. Right here. The monad, the word and the idea, belongs to the Western philosophical tradition and has been used in by various authors. All right. So what is the monad? From Latin monas, from Greek, what does it mean? An ultimate atom or simple unextended point. Something ultimate and indivisible. Oh, like the strings in string theory. It's just the basic component of nature, like the smallest one, right? That's the monad. It's like unempirical atomism. This Banana Waffle Monkey. Yeah, it's like... I did read some ancient Greeks, like the word atom came from that, where they just divided into some sort of unempirical, yeah. It's like more of a thought experiment that there needs to be like a smallest piece in metaphysics. And I mean that... Like our reductionist sensibilities takes us to that point, right? That there maybe should be some sort of smallest building... what am I looking for? Building point? Like there's something there, like the smallest thing. Like the strings in theory, strings in string theory. So the monad, it's just like that. And he had... Wait, so Leibniz had a metaphysical idea about 70 monads, was that it? 90 paragraphs about his monads. Leibniz, who was exceptionally well read, could not have ignored this. But he did not use it himself until 69, when he was sending for... Man, this article. Am I bad? Is it my slow brain? Or is it just very weirdly written? Apparently he found with it a convenient way to expose his own philosophy as it was elaborated in this period. Banana Waffle Monkey warned me. Yeah, you did warn me, but let's stick with it for a little bit. It seems kind of weird so far. What he proposed can be seen as a modification of occasionalism. It's something else, I don't know what it is. It's a philosophical theory about causation which says that created substances cannot be efficient causes of events. Instead, all events are taken to be caused directly by God. Alright, if you say so. Banana Waffle Monkey says, man, you know the map is gonna be good when your client stops responding for a second. Oh man, that seems interesting, yeah. The theory states that the illusion of efficient causation between mundane events arises out of God causing them. So Leibniz was a Christian, well, a religious person, I guess. Latter-day Cartesians, Leibniz surmised that there are indefinitely many substances individually programmed to act in a predetermined way, each substance being coordinated with all the others. This is pre-established harmony, which solved the mind-body problem. I don't agree with that. But at the cost of declaring any interaction between substances mere appearance. Alright, so it seems like Banana Waffle Monkey had the perfect explanation. This really just seems like unempirical atomism, where they just make up their own atomism, like they make up their own ideas about what these monads are. And then they just say that this is how the world works because I say this is how the world works. And that am I understanding monadology? Like, would you agree with my understanding of monadology, Colgate in on tap? The rhetorical strategy adopted by Leibniz in the monadology is fairly obvious in the text, alright? It begins with a description of monads. And he's just describing them, he's not arguing for them, he's just saying, this is the world. Proceeding from simple to complicated instances. He derived them from each other, I guess. Then he turns to their principle or creator and finishes by using both to explain the world. Colgate in on tap says my understanding about monadology is pretty hazy. Yeah, don't blame you, like, this is my first time hearing about it, but from my point of view, it seems like the idea itself is pretty hazy. It seems monistic. Yeah. Yeah, this seems... Yeah, I don't... Yeah. Let's go here instead. Whoop. Nope. There we go. Kish Kish says DLC 7 Days of Summer. 7DL? I don't think so. I think this is just Everlasting Summer. Summer Forever, it's called. The canteen was crowded as usual. Oh, actually. Yeah, let's just find some spot. It's time for lunch soon. Some things never change. For the first time, I looked at all the pioneers from a slightly different angle. Indeed, why is everything so correct? As if someone created this pioneer camp by carefully compiling material from the internet without bothering to visit such a place himself. Breaking the fourth wall, and also this is not the first time he's been alluding to this kind of thinking many times. It was almost too perfect, the weather is too perfect, everyone is so normal. He's been saying this over and over, so it's not a new idea, it's not a new view, it's just... It was just like an old Soviet movie. Strict camp leader, the exemplary pioneers, even Uliana, and even Elisa. All within the normal range. So where does that strange girl come from? She seemed like a smear of paint that just happened to be on the picture due to the shaky hands of a sloppy restorer. Electronics suddenly sat beside me. Hey there, he smirked. Hey, what are you thinking about? Just, there was absolutely nothing wrong with speaking openly to anyone. Not anymore. Did you happen to see anyone strange here? Strange? Well, not quite human. I don't really understand, Electronic laughed. A girl with cat's ears and a tail, I said shortly. A girl with ears and a tail? He began to think. How do you know about her? Well, let's assume I saw her. Yeah, they're robot, like they are building a robot with cat ears, right? This conversation was starting to get interesting. Let's assume, or you actually did meet her? Is it really so important? Electronics stared at me seriously. No, oh, it's not about their robot. There is a legend here about a cat girl. She steals food, small bits and pieces of stuff, and avoids people. Really? A legend? What does this girl look like? Well, like a cat girl. I never saw her myself. They say that she has a tail and ears, as you described. What else? Well, this legend is old, and I don't know much about it, says Electronic. Who do you know who knows more? Ask Olga. She's been in this camp many times, even before she became a camp leader. All right, thanks. I stood up and went to find the camp leader. I bet she decided to take a nap after lunch. Perhaps Olga was the only element that was somewhat out of place in the picture of an ideal camp. She certainly was not a role model camp leader. I opened the door and confidently entered the cabin. And indeed, she was lying on the bed reading a book as expected. Semyon, slacking again? Wait, what? Are you serious? She's slacking, no? Actually, yes, but anyway. I wanted to ask you something. She stared at me and I hesitated a little. Maybe I shouldn't be so straightforward about everything. It was like my internal firewall had triggered, and I just could not tell the camp leader that I had seen the cat girl today. And let's put this moment right here as our lunch break point. Yeah, I gotta say, I was a little bit disappointed in Masha's ending, but I'm guessing that this ending will explain everything. So Masha's ending couldn't really explain anything, just hint about stuff, I suppose. Colgate In on Tap says 7DL is not in English. Ah, it's a DLC. Alright. But thanks for hanging out today, and see you next time, I suppose. Cheers.